Hello, everybody, and welcome to In From Japan, episode 74, the podcast where we talk about the latest news on Japan-developed video games and other things in relation to them. Available on YouTube and in most places podcasts can be found. As always, I'm your host, Erroll, and with me is my co-host, the phenomenon from Suriname, Jason Corder.
Hey.
And my only housekeeping is check out our E3 reactions on YouTube.
Yeah.
Jason actually joined me for a few of them.
Yeah.
I did the Nintendo one by myself because everybody else was asleep.
Well, I was busy with work.
Well, yeah, Jason was. I should have had you in like a text box on the screen.
Yeah, probably.
Because you were still reacting.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't be like physically present on screen, but I can type every now and then.
Yeah, so I should have done that. Oh well, next time. Yeah, so check those out. And we had our friends Foggy Bear and PandaFin join us.
Yeah.
We had two bears.
Yeah,
watch E3.
We just needed a third to have the wee bear bears.
Wee bear bears, yeah. All right, so we're time to get into the Japanese games we've been playing. So I have one more dungeon left in Stormblood.
Ooh. Wait.
But last dungeon
is it
mechanics got very specific.
Is it the main quest, or are you still do you still have the patch quest to get through to as well?
Oh yeah, main scenario.
Oh, okay.
Stormblood main scenario. And then I have the post Stormblood stuff. Because we're all my friends and I are all trying to get to Shadowbringer so we can all try to do it together.
Uh-huh.
So then we'll be ready for Endwalker in the fall.
Well, one expansion can take up like a month. So I think you should be fine.
Should be fine. I'm always a little behind both of them just because, I got all these other games to play. And we got this podcast. But
you're not as bad as I am because I'm still in Heavensward patch quest. So
oh, yeah. No, I know some people who are still in like A Realm Reborn. And I'm like, or they're in like post A Realm Reborn. And I'm like, pay the $11, dude. Just skip that. Just
yes and no. Is it worth it to skip tedious content? Yes. But you're going to miss the introduction of one very important character to the plot.
You just read about it later.
Yeah, but reading is not the same as seeing it in a cutscene or...
Sure, but it doesn't matter because the rest of it is so bad.
I wouldn't say bad, I'd say boring.
Or boring, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then it seems like we've both played Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin demo.
Yep.
Although I didn't finish it. I didn't get all the way to Chaos. I got to the part with the three... it had like the three little darkness thingies that you had to destroy, and they just kept summoning enemies. And I just kind of ran out of time because I had to, prep for the podcast and stuff, so I stopped there after I died.
Oh, okay.
I really like the... so far, because I haven't played the Lancer job yet. And the warrior I didn't really like. I like the mage best so far.
Why didn't you like the warrior?
It just, I don't know. Something about it didn't feel that great to me. And it might just be controls are a little weird.
Okay, I didn't come away with that observation. Did you unlock the combos?
Yeah. And I think it was just like the timing I wasn't getting down. Like, and by timing, I mean, like, it would be like R1, R2, and I'd be like, why is it not working quite right?
I think the timing is pretty forgiving in comparison to something like Neo or Sekiro or the
I mean, maybe, but I still need to play it a bit more, but I definitely prefer the mage class just because it was... I just felt like it was just gameplay-wise, it was a lot easier for me.
Yeah, because you can be a bit of a ranged class and pick off enemies from a distance. The only gripe I have
and I really like
with the mage class is that you can't really switch quickly between spells. You kind of have to hold down the trigger and then select your spell, and that's not always.
And if you're surrounded by enemies,
it's not as handy. And the club you have as a weapon or the mace you have as a weapon has a very short reach, so
I thought it was a sword. And it
I'm
was
not
called
mistaken.
a mace because it like looked like a sword, but it was
looks
called
like
a mace.
a sword, but
It
it's
was
called a
kinda weird.
mace.
Yeah, it's
so
kind of odd.
it has a very short reach, so you're gonna have to get up real close. But yeah, what else did you think?
I do love shooting the big fireball at the bombs, and then they blow up.
Yeah. And
Because then you don't have to. You don't have to play a game of tennis with them.
you don't
With the soul
have to.
absorb thing.
You can
but like
if it's a fireball, you can
that's what
use
it
like a
teaches
water
you to
spell or
do,
a blizzard
yeah.
spell. Yeah.
No, I
And
know, but I
did
mean
you
like
also know there
before
are
you get the
environmental
mage class unlocked.
effects for enemies?
What do you mean? Like when the bomb explodes and then the enemies around it get hit?
It's after the mage class unlocks. Yeah. It also depends on is there like grass in the area that can catch fire and that spreads to the other enemies.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The wolves, I think the hardest parts for me so far was the part where you're just surrounded by all those wolves. And then the bat. The only reason the bats were hard is because they're flying around and they're small.
The bats are weak against the lance, but then you'd have to do the R.
Okay, yeah, you get the lance like right before you fight
to
them. Yeah.
stagger them, and that hits their weak spot.
Yeah. Okay, because I didn't try the lancer that much, so I'll have to do that when I play again.
I also saw you tweet about comparing it to Elden Ring, and that you thought that the reception wasn't as justified.
But there's a reception to the trailer.
Yeah, the reception.
It seems like a lot of people seem to be changing their tune at least a little bit, at least gameplay wise.
How do you feel now, having played somewhat a bit of the game?
Yeah. It's one of those things where like, yeah, this is good. It needs some obviously needs some polishing and tweaking, and I'm sure it'll get that because Team Ninja will listen to feedback. So yeah, we'll get a better game out of it. I also like how it's like everybody was like, oh, he's just wearing a t-shirt and jeans, and then in the actual game you get like those outfits that are more Final Fantasy-ish.
Yeah, the trailer hints at it, but it doesn't really make it clear that pick this gear up and that changes your appearance, because we did see from the trailer that you have different job classes, but we didn't know if the gear was like a set attached to a job class, or you have job class and then on top of that individual gear pieces that give you bonuses.
I'm also sure that the jobs will not level up as fast as they do in the demo. Probably. I don't think they're gonna level up that fast.
But it could be that the skill tree would be far larger in the actual game.
That too. It could also, that's what I was thinking. It could be the starting classes that do level up fast, and then the later ones kind of level up slower as you go on, which would make sense.
And it could also be that you have like 20 job classes, and so maybe you also have multiple job classes to collect in the game, and maybe they're gated off by a boss battle or a secret area or what have you, so that could extend the longevity of the game.
Well, you just find it in a treasure chest. I need to play a bit more
it's
of
not
it,
too
but
far
I
off
enjoy
from
it so far.
Okay.
Oh, what? Not too far off from what? Sorry.
I was going to say it's not too far off from the experience in Neo, where you have treasure chests around the map, so it's not that too far off.
It's kind of like Neo, but with, there is still stance stuff, but it's not like 4 different, it's just that soul stance specifically. not like 4 different ones to choose from for at least as far as we know.
Yeah, but as I don't know if you saw the tweet, but I observed that having 2 job classes at the ready isn't all that handy when you're unaware of what kind of enemies you're going to be meeting up in the next room or encounter. Because you can spec for, let's say, a dragoon or a lancer, and in the next area you have enemies that are weak to fire or blizzard, and then you have to fumble in the menu to switch either your warrior or berserker to a mage class, or your lancer to a mage class, and that kind of upsets the balance, because if you remove one of the sets you have, then you also have to re-equip certain gear pieces, and that can be very tedious. So I hope they switch between 3 classes, like short range, long range, and like a spell cast class, something like that.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about it. I haven't fought the boss yet. You did fight the boss.
Yeah, I did beat Chaos, and I am now become Chaos.
You killed Chaos?
Well, you don't. I don't want to spoil it for you, but something along those lines.
Well, yeah, because it's probably not the. Yeah, it's probably closer to the beginning of the game than the end type of a thing.
Yeah. My observations are that the enemies are tough but fair.
Yeah.
But
also there is an easy mode, so I found that interesting. I was playing on normal, so I'm curious to see.
Yeah, so
what that's like.
It might be a bit more accessible for newcomers and for people who have always wanted to try the Souls-like genre. Excuse me, but never really felt at ease with either Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro, or one of the other of those ilk. So yeah, that's that. My observations beyond fighting Chaos or Garland, actually. The game has a solid foundation. I tweeted it out that it's built on top of the foundation that is Neo, but visually, art design wise or art direction wise, it's very bland. It's like it recycled IDs from Final Fantasy 13, 13-2, and put in a blender, and then you get this. It doesn't really jump at you with any sort of character, or how do I say this? It doesn't have that special factor that makes it striking and that grabs your attention. It just doesn't look like it's supposed to be enticing. It's just it feels like something you do at the start of production and not near the end of it. We don't know how far along they are, so we're just speculating at this point, but if I'd like to see something happen to this game, it'd be a total art overhaul. But I don't know how.
A lot of people have been saying that. I don't know how likely that is.
I don't know how possible that is, because maybe they're 3/4 into development and now it's just finalizing gameplay and
unless of course they delay it.
Yeah, there's that. I'd rather them delay it at least another year to really give it something extra, really make it stand out. And the parry or the block button and the soul absorb button, I feel like they should be one button, because
I see what you mean. I feel that
they essentially do the same thing, but they kind of how do I explain this? They have different gradients to how effective they are. And maybe it's not possible. Maybe I'm just overthinking this, because if you parry something would that also mean you automatically grab the soul? Or if you grab the soul, would it also mean you automatically parry? I feel like if you're playing against an energy-based enemy, that button would gather the enemy's attack. And if you're fighting against an enemy that's more physical-based, then that button would be a parry.
Yeah.
So there's that. I also don't like the UI. It's very straightforward and boring. If you're familiar with Final Fantasy 15, then it's basically that.
Yeah, isn't the UI just like it? Excuse me.
It's so boring. When you think of Final Fantasy 1, you think of high fantasy, Middle Ages stuff. You think Lord of the Rings. You don't think contemporary isekai.
Driving a car.
Driving a car. You don't think about that. But yeah, Kazuma Hashimoto from Siliconera did observe that the Japanese reception is a bit warmer than the Western reception.
Makes sense.
That's all I have to say about it.
Which is funny because this seems like it was more like.
Yeah, it really feels like
it was made to appeal more towards Westerners.
Yeah, it really feels like the old days, the early Xbox 360 days where they tried to really appeal to the Western audience with Last Remnant
reboot and such,
and Nier. It's a mess. What else was I gonna say? Oh, the main character's
people don't like that the main character is named Jack.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Clive doesn't sound so bad now, does it? Anymore. So
it's about the same.
No, it's
I don't mind Jack. Clive sounds weirder to me. Jack is just a normal name. Clive is weird.
Clive at least feels like it can have like an old timey flair.
It's like naming your character of a magical JRPG Dale.
I mean, you have someone that's named Butts, so
Bart.
Whatever. It's neither here nor there. Names are whatever you make of it. I think there's just too much to do about nothing. Yeah, that's what I played. I also played.
You said Famicom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, still Famicom Detective. That game just does not want to end, but I am making progress. I have the likely suspect in my crosshairs, so I'm barreling down the end of the game. So fingers crossed. Hopefully by next week I'll really be done with this. Yeah, nothing new to observe. The music's still great. The character animations or the character designs are really great. The mystery is interesting. It's just that, as I said last week, gameplay can be a hindrance. The game kind of gets in its own way and prevents you from enjoying a good mystery or solving a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's all I've been playing.
All right. Next, moving on to the In From Japan J list, recent video game related entertainment news. G-Kids licenses Mamoru Hosoda's Bell film in North America. This is by Alex Mateo for Anime News Network. G-Kids announced on Monday that it has licensed Mamoru Hosoda and the Studio Chizu's new Bell, Ryuto Sobakazu no Hime, literally the Dragon and the Freckled Princess anime film in North America. The company will release the film in English and in Japanese with English subtitles this winter. G-Kids streamed an English subtitled trailer. The film will open in Japan on July 16th. So, and there's stuff about the cast and such.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah.
Any notable names?
I mean, it's the Japanese cast.
Oh, okay.
We don't know the English cast yet.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Mamoru Hosoda films don't usually have the celebrity thing like the English Ghibli films do. At least, not that I can remember.
Yeah, I get you.
You won't see John C. Reilly showing up and voicing somebody's uncle for that has 2 lines.
Listen, I would welcome John C. Reilly.
Look, he was fine when Marnie was there. He just had 2 lines.
John C. Reilly
and
is
they
great.
highlighted that he was in it. Yeah. I have nothing against John C. Reilly. I'm just saying, like, I just was making a...
Yeah, I get it.
That was the only thing I could think of. Yeah. All Gamer movies are now available on Amazon Prime Video. Like, if you have Prime Video.
Is that a good thing?
Then... Yes, because they're much more easily accessible, especially for the Heisei era trilogy and Gamera the Brave, which Gamera the Brave was very hard to find previously. From 2006, it's the last Gamera movie that was made.
Okay. Do you enjoy those movies?
I've watched I've watched the first Heisei era one, which was okay, and I've been watching the Mystery Science Theater 3000 versions of some of the older ones.
Okay.
They're fine. They're silly.
All right.
Next up is recommended content. Content other news from the past week listed out. Links in the description. So Pastebin was being kind of weird because of some weird filter system they have now, which I didn't put anything like offensive or anything. It was just it might have been one of the links was weird or something. So the links will still be in the description. Or not? No. The Pastebin won't be in the description, but the titles will be. The titles and authors, so you'll be able to find them pretty easily.
All right.
So first we have Japan's Game Preservation Crisis by Did You Know Gaming. Fist of the North Star manga is a timeless gory classic by Josh Toletino for Siliconera. Preview, Attention to Detail makes Coromon a standout RPG by Graham Russell for Siliconera. Feature, Why Digimon Tamers remains the best of its genre by Daniel Dockery for Crunchyroll. I Hope Breath of the Wild 2 still has weapon durability by Imran Khan for Fanbyte. Zelda's Sword Breakage is some BS by Luke Plunkett for Kotaku. I need to get both sides of this.
All right.
Interview, Koei Tecmo's Hisashi Koinuma on creating Samurai Warriors 5 by our friend Lucas White over at Prima Games.
Yep.
And Nintendo sets the stage for Game Boy Advance Renaissance by Giovanni Colantonio for Digital Trends. So now it is time for the news rundown. So I'll let our bearer of bad news and Shinigami take it away with the bad-ish news.
Bankai. Okay, we start out with Rune Factory 5.
That was a strong one.
Rune Factory 5 delayed to early 2022 in the West. And this is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. Exceed Games has delayed the Western release of Rune Factory 5 from its previously planned 2021 release window to early 2022. Rune Factory 5 first launched for Switch in Japan on May 20th. So, thoughts? Are you bummed?
So it's a little unfortunate, but apparently the Japanese release had a ton of bugs. So it's probably this is a good thing.
Okay.
This is definitely good. Not that delays are ever an actual bad thing.
Yeah.
It's like it's unfortunate, but when something releases in like that state, it's like, well, if they're taking the time to fix it, be my guest.
Yeah.
You know?
A delayed game is good. A rushed game is for always bad. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was in other news.
Yeah. And the good-ish news, we have Elden Ring PS5 and Xbox Series X gets a free upgrade. This is by Jenny Lara for Siliconera. Now that Elden Ring is on the way, Bandai Namco confirmed that a free PS5 or Xbox Series X upgrade will be offered to people who get the PS4 or Xbox One version. After the Summer Game Fest 2021 reveal, the company shared a fact sheet with details about it. It also offered an array of new Elden Ring screenshots. When it comes to the free upgrade, it will work similarly to ones offered for other games. Should someone get the PS4 or Xbox One version, they will be entitled to the corresponding next-gen version. So someone who gets Elden Ring on the PS4 would get a PS5 version upgrade for free. In the case of Xbox platforms, it will work slightly different. That's when Smart Delivery will kick in to automatically give Elden Ring Xbox One owners the Xbox Series X version when applicable. I'm so happy about this because now that I have a PS5, I don't think I mentioned it last week. Oh no, last week it was still up in the air, but I have a PS5 now. Yay! It's quite a bummer when you have games in your library and they don't come with a free upgrade. Like I was looking at Neo 1 and I have to buy the entire collection to get the free upgrade.
I still need a...
It's like...
Wait, really?
Why?
Because I have Neo 2.
No.
I can't just upgrade.
Neo 2 gets a free upgrade. Neo 1 doesn't.
Okay.
Which is...
I still need to do
Which is a really weird thing. Like, why 2 and not 1?
Yeah.
It's a...
Maybe just they didn't...
It's a mess.
Apparently 2 is the better game anyway. So.
Well... It's debatable. But we'll see.
Speaking of PS5 upgrades, I know it's not a PS5 upgrade, but I got Demon Souls the other day.
I'm looking.
I haven't started yet.
I kind of want to, but I'm also
But Elden Ring kind of encouraged me because one, I already like Blue Point because of their Shadow of the Colossus remake. I'm looking into more like PS5 games. And I know Blue Point is in a Japanese studio, right?
Well.
But it is a remake of a Japan-developed game.
You can view it as kind of half and half. Like it's still the foundation.
Yeah.
That was made by From Software, and then remade / modified by Blue Point. So I'll allow it.
Yeah. So there was that, but yeah, I haven't even installed it yet because I just got it. It just came today.
Yeah, I'd want to do it, but I'm also knee deep in AC Valhalla, so maybe by year's end.
I might try it out, but it's like between Final Fantasy 14 and then I just finished Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. Actually, yeah, it's mostly Final Fantasy 14 at this point.
Okay.
Oh yeah, next up. Netmarble teases Ni no Kuni Crossworlds updates and global release. This is by Kite Stenbuck for Siliconera. Ni no Kuni Crossworlds development head Bumjin Park from Netmarble Neo spoke with Japanese media about the mobile game's future. He also teased that a global version of Ni no Kuni Crossworlds will be available in the first half of 2022. Park revealed a tentative schedule for upcoming updates to Crossworlds up to September 2021. The feature names and the actual implementation periods are tentative and may change at a later time. June 2021. Field bosses, chaotic land bosses, chaotic gates, and relic battlefields for wars between kingdoms. July 2021. Kingdom Invasion, Kingdom Dungeon, Familiar Coliseum, a new episode story, Ancient Devil God. August 2021, Throne Struggle Battles, Metropolis Kingdom, and new episode story, Captain Gold and Treasure Island. September 2021, Kingdom Familiar Expedition, The Great Brawl of the Lava Valley, Trial Labyrinth, and new episode story, Harvest Festival. When 4Gamer asked further about future updates, Park revealed plans to update the game every 2 weeks while referencing player data and opinions. He also made the following statement, teasing a global release of Ni no Kuni Crossworlds. Regarding the distribution regions, we are aiming for a release in all territories within the first half of 2022. We are proceeding on preparations for a global service with the Overseas Advanced Strategy, and we plan on to release it accordingly. It is immediately available for Android and iOS in Japan and East Asia. We're planning to release the game globally around the first half of 2022. So good.
Yeah. So you got your wish.
Now, will I play it? I will try.
Listen, you can't wish for something and then drop it and never play it.
I said I'll try. I didn't say I wouldn't play it.
I hope you do. Next up is Tales of Arise special live stream set for June 18th. This is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. Bandai Namco will host a Tales of Arise special live stream on June 18th at 20:30 Japan Standard Time, the company announced. You will be able to watch it on YouTube. The broadcast will feature the latest information on Tales of Arise presenters, including Shino Shimoji, Shion's voice character, Sayuri Hara, Rinwell voice character, and Yoshisugi Matsuoka, Law voice actor. Wait, did I say voice character? I meant voice actor when I said Rinwell. If you
Voice carrier. Well, I mean, you're not wrong.
no, I said
don't know.
voice character. It's voice actor.
Oh, voice character.
If you miss,
What a character.
you can click on the article if you want to see the info and if you want to have a link to the trailer, because during E3 they had a new trailer to show.
Mm-hmm. There's also gameplay previews that went up today.
Yep.
At various websites.
Yep.
Hands-on previews.
Yeah. Next up is PlayStation's Jim Ryan wants people to know he doesn't hate old games. This is by Andy Robinson for VGC. But in an interview with Time, Ryan discussed seeing versions of Gran Turismo running side by side on PS4, PS3, PS2, and PS1. The PS1 and the PS2 games, they looked ancient. Like, why would anybody play this? He said at the time. Speaking to, I don't know who he's speaking to, but in the latest Axios Gaming newsletter, the PlayStation boss claimed that he had not made his point well, which was not to emphasize how far the racing series had come since its early, which was to emphasize how far the racing series had come since its early days. He says, the point I was trying to make, obviously not very well, was just how great the PS4 version looked and how far the series had evolved. I certainly wasn't trying to be disrespectful, geez, what's happening today, to our heritage, he told journalist Stephen Totillo. I guess my big learning from all of this is that when Kazunori Yamauchi unveils the next Gran Turismo side by side with his history, that I will keep my mouth shut. Yeah, so it's basically him saying, you know what, I messed up. What I'm trying to say is, compared to what we have now, and if you compare it to what we had in the past, we've made a lot of strides in how far we can create fidelity and make it believable, and it's a good retraction. Well, not retraction. It's a good clearing of the air that he clarification that he's done. Yeah.
Next up, Samurai Warriors 5 demo now available for PS4, Xbox One, and Switch in Japan. This is by Saruman Fukamatsu. A demo for Samurai Warriors 5 is now available for PS4, Xbox One, Switch in Japan. Publisher Koei Tecmo and developer Omega Force announced. The demo features the opening parts to the game's story. Save data from the demo can be carried over to the full game when it launches. It's due out for PS4, or the full game is due out for PS4, Xbox One, and Switch on June 24th in Japan, followed by PS4, Xbox One, and Switch in the West, and PC via Steam worldwide on July 27th. I don't know if we're going to get an English demo. We might, but we could get one on July 17th.
Like, Hyrule Warriors had a demo. Pirate Warriors had a demo. So I'm assuming we'll get a demo.
Yeah, a lot of Musou games get demos. I tried to download this on my Switch, and it wouldn't download. It just kept having a download error.
How come?
But apparently a lot of people are having inconsistent download errors because of the recent Switch update.
Oh, it could be that they kind of put up a barrier for people outside of Japan.
No, it would no. Not for the Japanese eShop specifically. I mean, like all downloads.
No, I meant if you're not from that region, they probably could do something like that.
Maybe, but I don't think that's what it is. I think it has to do with the whole update.
Okay.
Because Mario plus Rabbids downloaded fine.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Next up, Blaster Master Zero coming to Xbox Series and Xbox One on July 1st. Blaster Master Zero 2 on July 15th. This is by Saruman Fukamatsu. Indie Creates will release Blaster Master Zero for Xbox Series and Xbox One on July 1st, followed by Blaster Master Zero 2 on July 15th, the developer announced. Each game will be priced at $9.99 and include a 20% off pre-order discount. Blaster Master Zero first launched for 3DS and Switch. Oh yeah, I don't need to do all that. But yeah, they're coming to Xbox. Will we see Gunvolt release on Xbox? Who knows?
I'd say it's likely. Next up is Judgment ships or shipments and digital sales top 1 million. So it sells and ships 1 million. This is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. Total worldwide shipments and digital sales for Judgment have exceeded 1 billion units, publisher Sega and developer Ryoga Gotoku Studio announced. Judgment first launched for PS4 in Japan in December 2018, followed by June 25th worldwide. PS5, Xbox Series, and Stadia versions followed in April of 2021. A sequel, Lost Judgment, is due out for PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, and Xbox One on September 24th worldwide. You can click on the article and you can then read more about it. It's kind of surprising that it hadn't hit 1 million before now.
Yeah, you're not the first person I've heard say that.
Yeah, because I figured, well, what internal metric do they need to greenlight a sequel then? Because, yeah, well, to them it probably was very successful, and 1 million all the better. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure the next gen versions help boost sales a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I still need I need to try that one again. I want to play like the rest of the Yakuza series. It's just that style of gameplay I don't like that much.
Wait, you mean the action brawling?
The action brawling, yeah.
You just want it to be a turn.
It's cool, but I'm just not that into it. Yeah, so that's why I'm happy that Yakuza going forward is going to stay as turn-based for now.
Probably then that Judgment won't be for you.
I tried Judgment before, and it's like I really like the story, but again, yeah, gameplay. That was the thing.
Yeah.
Next up, Bandai Namco is working on a new Gundam esports game. This is by Kite Stenbook for Siliconera. Bandai Namco revealed that it is currently working on a new Gundam-themed esports video game. The company group made the announcement at the inaugural Gundam conference held on June 15, 2021. One of the slides presented at the conference showed Bandai Namco's strategy in getting Gundam into the esports scene. It listed currently ongoing games with competitive features such as Battle Operation 2, Extreme vs. Max Boost On, and Gundam Breaker Mobile, known outside Japan as Gundam Battle Gunpla Warfare. One of the titles listed, Gundam Extreme vs. Max Boost On, has even made its way into the EVO 2021 side tournaments. In addition to another esports tournament, Bandai Namco also added new game coming soon on the slide. The company group has confirmed that it is working on another Gundam game aimed towards the esports audience. The presentation generally showed Bandai Namco's intention to increase sales and visibility of the Gundam franchise globally outside Japan. Other than games, the group also revealed ongoing plans for other media, such as the life-size Gundam statues, the new Gundam Seed projects, and the cooperation with Netflix to bring in the upcoming live-action and anime movies, including Mobile Suit Gundam Hathaway's Flash. They also revealed a bunch of other Gundam stuff. Oh, whoa! In the conference, Bandai Namco also revealed Gundam Universal Century Development Action and Gundam Open Innovation. These are initiatives made to gather ideas based on the Universal Century's science fiction technology that can be applied to the real world in the future. How cool!
I mean, that's pretty much the goal of every bit of science fiction, to have it become a reality. Well, not the actual plot of a science fiction story, but the technology. Because you don't.
Man, yeah, let us do Star Trek and get rid of money.
Well, fingers crossed.
That'll be too hard.
Yeah,
that's gonna be way too hard for humanity.
Next up, we have DMC Peak of Combat English global release confirmed. This is by Jenny Lada for Siliconera. There's an update on an English release for Devil May Cry Pinnacle of Combat. The Nebula Joy title is on the way westward, as Nebula Joy took to Twitter to confirm a DMC Peak of Combat English global release for the mobile game. It also confirmed that the official name worldwide will be DMC Peak of Combat, as it often would be referred to by other translations. It is also confirmed more languages than just English will be available. You can click on the article for full details and a statement by Nebula Joy. Great. Yeah.
I had to switch those two stories because they were in the wrong section.
Okay. Next up, we have Microsoft will.
Oh wait, hold on. About the Devil May Cry thing,
Mm-hmm.
I need to pester our friend Kevin to play that.
Nope.
Because he's been going through all the Devil May Cry games
Knowing him, he probably will.
on his Twitch stream.
Next up, we have Microsoft will bring Xbox Series X and S exclusives to Xbox One via cloud gaming. This is by Taylor Lyles for IGN, who also did great work at The Verge, but is now part of the really great team in IGN. Microsoft has announced that it intends on expanding the Xbox One lifespan by implementing its cloud gaming service onto consoles, meaning you will soon be able to use Microsoft's 8th-gen consoles to play Xbox X and S games, well, Series X and S games. As noted in an Xbox Wire post, Microsoft confirmed that it would also use Xbox Cloud Gaming, xCloud, to allow Xbox One users to play newer Xbox games without buying a gaming PC or a Series X and S console. To quote, for the millions of people who play on Xbox One consoles today, we are looking forward to sharing more about how we will bring many of these next-gen games, such as Microsoft Flight Simulator, to your console through Xbox Cloud Gaming, just like we do with mobile devices, tablets, and browsers. Xbox Wires, Will Tuttle said in the post. You can click on the article if you want more details.
It's like chip shortage, new consoles out of stock, cloud. Cloud with your old console.
Yeah.
If you have good enough internet.
Exactly. So it's gonna be limited to like suburban areas, major cities.
For now.
Coastal areas.
Yeah.
And God forbid if you have a data cap on your internet.
Yeah.
Because this won't be cheap. But it is a good measure for people who aren't able to, who can't afford a current gen console. Like I'd be happy to just be playing on the cloud if my internet allowed it, and if the companies supported my region, because they don't. So even if I had an old console and this was a possibility, it wouldn't be a feature I had access to. So there's also a lot of work to be done with regards to global reach. So Xbox, hit me up. Let's do something. Next up is Pokemon Unite launches in July for Switch, September for iOS and Android. This is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. Pokemon Unite will launch for Switch in July and iOS and Android in September, the Pokemon Company and developer Timmy Studio Group announced. It will be free to start with optional in-game purchases available. What does that mean though? Because other MOBAs are free to play. Like, do they expect people to pay $10, $20? Or is it like you have to have a battle pass to actively play? Guess we'll see. Cross-platform play between Switch, iOS, and Android is also planned, and players will be able to use their Pokemon Trainer Club account or Nintendo account on all platforms to keep progress synced between devices. You can click on the article for a full breakdown, trailer, and extra details. Yeah.
There's a Pokemon League of Pokemon joke in here somewhere.
Yeah, don't think too hard on it.
I'm probably not gonna try it because it's like a MOBA, right?
You don't like MOBAs?
They're not my thing.
The
closest thing to a MOBA that I've played, well, it's like kind of a MOBA, but it's a different perspective. Smite.
Smite is a MOBA, yes.
Yeah, it's just the perspective is the third person rather than kind of
bird's eye view.
Yeah.
So
and I enjoyed that a little bit, but like I'm just not into MOBAs in general. Yeah.
I would play it, but I'm wondering how the toxicity would be, because
right, you're combining two different fan bases.
Like,
and
Pokemon fans on Twitter at least.
A lot of poison types.
Yeah, there's that, and coupled with the toxicity that's kind of emblematic of the MOBA genre. Actually, any multiplayer genre.
Yeah.
It hits me with a pause because I'm wondering, okay, how will this affect the kids who will be playing, and how will this affect people who will see this as an accessible start in the MOBA genre? So yeah, I hope Nintendo knows what it's doing. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see how that turns out. Pokemon always sells. Next up, PS5 system software beta signups open for firmware update. This is by Jenny Latta for Siliconera once again. People have a chance to test new PS5 firmware update first, as Sony opened system software beta signups on June 27th, or on June 17th. I don't know why I said 27th. 2021. People who opt in and are picked will get to try out new updates before anyone else. To be specific, the PlayStation blog noted this will have to do with a major system update planned for 2021. Signing up is relatively easy. People must own a PS5 to participate. They also have to live in Canada, France, Germany, Japan, the UK, or the US to take part. So, yeah. They have to be over 18 as well and have access to the internet. Well, that's kind of a given. People who meet all the criteria can opt in at the official site. Sony will randomly pick up people who will then be contacted to download the update. As for what this next PS5 system software update could entail, Sony didn't offer any details about what the firmware beta program testers could see after signing up. Instead, only referred to the PS5 April 2021 update. That was the firmware update that added the ability to store PS5 games to an external storage device. Sony did not note when it will stop accepting applications. So yeah, you got your insider program, I guess.
Yeah.
Or equivalent. Okay, so our main topic is just more news because this past week was E3. So that's our main topic. Just what we thought of this year's E3.
Yeah.
We have it sorted. I have some miscellaneous news, and then we have the presentations that we reacted to. We have Xbox, Square Enix, Capcom, and Nintendo. So, overall, what were your thoughts on this year's E3?
Overall,
all digital.
My thoughts are, I enjoyed quite a bit of it. There's a lot of things that can be adjusted when it comes to certain publishers and showcases. I think the most important lesson is be clear in the communication with your audience. Let them know what they can expect from a showcase. Of course, don't spoil the entire thing. I mean, it's fine if you want to have some surprises in your bag, but go ahead.
Also, not every publisher needs a presentation.
What I kind of want to
No, that's all I got.
Come again?
Go ahead. I said not every publisher needs a presentation.
No, I didn't.
That's all I said.
Well, I don't mind if every publisher has a presentation, because it's a marketing thing. They're there to market their wares. They're there to create awareness for their products. There's nothing wrong with that. You run into a problem if the announcement you have has been shown like 2 or 3 times previously in the same year before this event.
Yeah.
Like I said, be clear in what you're trying to communicate with your audience. Tell them what they can expect. Tell them how long the showcase will last. Like, it's 30 minutes, it's 45 minutes, it's an hour, and you can expect this, a few surprises. Don't expect any info on new hardware, for example, in Nintendo's case.
Did Capcom say there were going to be surprises? Because I got mixed.
No, they just said they'd be there.
Mixed things on that.
It's okay. It's kind of
somebody said oh, Capcom said there would be surprises. I'm like, I don't think they did.
Well, I don't know if the Resident Evil DLC is a surprise. I mean, we all expected it.
Yeah, we all knew it was coming.
I think, yeah, just be clear. If you're gonna, I know you want all the eyes on you. I know you want to have that engagement and create awareness and kind of make your shareholders happy. Alana Pierce has a great video like 2 years ago when EA Play was a thing, and
it's still a thing. It's just gonna be in July.
No, I mean when it was revealed, the EA Play showcase, and the reception was so mixed. She has a great response on that about why EA made the decisions they made, and I think that gives you great insight into how publishers work when it comes to these showcases. It's a business to them, and I think first and foremost they have their shareholders in mind when it's a publicly traded company, and then the audience second. So you kind of have to be aware of that going forward with this, but you can also expect great things, like in the case of Microsoft, who has learned the lesson of delivering gameplay and being clear and concise, and of course Nintendo, who started the direct format, had also a great showcase, even though a lot of people were like, okay, not everything is for me, just like one or two things, and that's fine.
I feel like that's every Nintendo Direct.
I mean, at a certain point, not everything is going to be about you. In a perfect world,
that's what I like about even these E3s, where I see people every other year, because we didn't have E3 last year. Like despite, yes, there was a pandemic and that definitely affected stuff a lot, but it seems like every other year E3 is just like not as good as the year before. And that's just how, like, that's just due to like game development cycles and like timing and a bunch of other stuff.
I think it's also it's a bit of perspective, because we have to be aware that the platforms that exist, the developers that exist, won't always cater to us. It'd be great if they do, but sometimes.
Plus, game developers aren't some infinite one, they're people. Two, they're not some infinite resource. They're a finite resource, so you're not always going to be getting these heavy hitting games every E3.
And
you're not always going to get like a ton of things that wow you, just due to personal taste or other stuff.
And sometimes what the devs think are cool or is cool won't match up to what we think is cool, and that's just going to happen every now and then. So take solace in that.
That being said, there was still a lot of great stuff announced at this year's E3.
Yeah.
Announced and shown. And we're going to start with Rune Factory 4 Special coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC this fall. Currently available for Switch. This is by Sawamото for Gamatsu. Publishers Exceed Games and Marvelous Europe will release Rune Factory 4 Special for PS4, Xbox One, and PC this fall, the company announced. A remaster of the 2012 released 3DS title Rune Factory 4 Special, first launched for Switch in February 2020. So that's great. More people able to access that. Next up, there was something, I forgot what presentation it was, but they ended it with basically a bunch of like Exceed published games.
I think that was, I want to say the Future Game Showcase.
Yeah, I think it was the Future Game Showcase.
Yeah.
Next up, Shadowverse Champions Battle launches August 10th in North America, August 13th in Europe. Card Battle RPG gets a release date, once again by Sawamото from Gamatsu. Card Battle RPG Shadowverse Champions Battle will launch for Switch on August 10th in North America and August 13th in Europe. Publishers XC Games and Marvelous Europe announced. It first launched on Switch in November 2020 in Japan. It's an anime card battle game like Yu-Gi-Oh, but much more recent. And also, have you seen the footage for this game?
Yeah.
Because you're actually walking around a school and stuff.
It's based on the anime that's currently airing.
Yeah. So like it's one of those things where like they didn't need to. It's like I wish we could get a Yu-Gi-Oh game like this, because some of the old Game Boy Advance games I remember you had like this RPG like feel when you were like walking around as your character and challenging people to duels, and then it would go into the duel thing. Instead of just being purely duels like Link Evolution.
Like, it brings you from slideshow to slideshow.
Yeah. Like, and a lot of people have a lot of fondness for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Game Boy Advance games because of, like, the fact that you're in a world. You're in the Yu-Gi-Oh! World.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm hoping that maybe one day we get a Yu-Gi-Oh game that looks more like this. But I am willing to try out this new card game.
Same.
Just to see how mechanics work and it just looks really good.
Wait, you mean the Shadowverse game, right?
Yeah, Shadowverse. I mean, I also want to try Yu-Gi-Oh! Rush Duel, but we don't have any localization announcement for that yet.
Well, I mean,
I'm sure it will come eventually.
There's still the new game.
I know they're working on the dub. So.
There's the New Game Plus Expo. There's a Jump Festa probably. So,
well, they wouldn't announce the English version at Jump Festa.
Maybe we'll see. Next up, we have Fuga. Melodies of Steel adds PS5 and Xbox Series version launches on July 29th. This is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. Little Tail Bronx series RPG Fuga Melodies of Steel will launch digitally for PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC via Steam and Epic Game Store on July 29th for $39.99 US. Developer CyberConnect 2 announced. It will support Japanese and French voiceovers and Japanese, English, French, Spanish, Italian, traditional Chinese, and simplified Chinese subtitle options. A deluxe edition will also be available for $59.99 US, which includes the following additional content: downloadable items, digital art book, digital soundtrack, and in-game bonus items, swimmer costumes for all characters, of course, dummy soul for the soul cannon, and a set of items. And click on the article for a full breakdown and for a trailer. I haven't watched the trailer yet, so I might dive into that next. So this is CyberConnect's next venture. Are you interested? Are you hyped?
So I went to the CyberConnect 2 panel at Anime Expo 2019 where they announced this game. And I at the time I didn't have that much interest in it. Now I have a lot more interest. It kind of reminds me almost of like a 13 Sentinels with furries. Just because of the art style. And
you're not wrong.
Animals and tanks and stuff.
You're not wrong.
But like the gameplay looks kind of similar.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to try it out. It's like kind of like a RPG strategy type of thing. Yeah, I'd be curious to at least try it out. I do like the art style. And this is the same studio is it the same developer? They made what's it called? Sotala Robo?
I guess.
Wait, it's a DS game that's like that's like $300. Oh, Solato Robo Red the Hunter.
Okay.
Oh, $600. That's in some places.
Wait.
Very expensive DS game.
Okay.
But yeah, it's really good, and the people who like it really like it. I know James from I don't know his last name. James from RPG Site is a really big fan of it.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm blanking out on his last name.
Well, you said RPG Site, so I think people.
Yeah, RPG Site.
Yeah, I think people can find him.
Yeah, he doesn't have his last name on Twitter either. So. Yeah. He's a big fan, so I know he was excited for this. Yeah, it looks cool. It was one of the more like, it was kind of one of the more niche games I'm glad we saw during E3.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just kind of nice to see like more niche games pop up during like a big event like that.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to Xbox. Before we get into the news, so Xbox Design Labs today, Xbox Design Labs reopened.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to order a controller, but a lot of people were getting I got my order. First, I got it refunded.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tried it again, and then it was automatically canceled. And apparently a lot of people were having that problem. It's supposedly supposed to be fixed now, so I'm going to try again later.
I think it's just people, flooding to the design labs, and
Yeah, plus, well, they said it was something about the website was kind of messed up, and they were working on a fix.
Yeah, so in due time, it'll be all fine.
Give me my special edition Blue Dragon controller that I made up.
All right.
I don't know. People liked it.
Sure.
I couldn't think of another Xbox game. Like, what would I do for a Blinks controller? Well, he wears a blue jacket. Oh, well, same thing.
Yeah, blue and orange, I guess.
Blue and orange, which could also be a lot of other things.
Yeah.
That could be like a Mass Effect controller. Like, just one of those things where it's like, oh, the blue and orange background of however many games from whatever time period. But anyways, the two Japanese games that were highlighted. First, we have Yakuza Like a Dragon, now available via Xbox Game Pass for console, PC, and cloud. This is by Star Romano for Gamatsu once again. Yakuza Like a Dragon is now available for Xbox Game Pass for console, PC, and cloud. Publisher Sega and developer Ryoga Gotoku Studios announced. It's also available for PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, and PC via Steam and the Microsoft Store. So yeah, if you have Game Pass, you can now play the best game of 2020.
According to Erroll.
In my opinion.
In your humble opinion. Yeah.
But I mean, for you, it's got to be up there, right?
I haven't played it yet. I'm I was stuck with... No, not stuck. I was busy playing Yakuza 0 on PS4.
Right.
And then I kind of bounced off because I was playing the Trails game and East on
now
my
you
PC.
have even more reason to play it.
Sure, but I have to get my credit card sorted, and then I can resub to all the things I'm supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see.
Yes. Or you could just buy the actual game. Either way.
Possible, but I still want to get through the entire series before I get to Like a Dragon.
But you don't need to play the entire series.
I don't need to, but I've already started it, so I feel like
you might as well.
Yeah. Like I own Yakuza 0.
I don't know if I want to do the whole series. I might just do if I go back to it, I might just go do like 0, Kiwami 2, or Kiwami and Kiwami 2 specifically.
Well, I own Yakuza 0.
I have 0.
And I have Yakuza
They're
Kiwami,
all on Game Pass,
so
yeah.
I might as well play those. Otherwise, they're just cluttering my backlog, and I gotta get through them someday. So, next up is Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes launches in 2023, preceded by town-building action RPG Eiyuden Chronicle Rising in 2022. This is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. Full transparency, I backed this game on Kickstarter, so do with that what you will. Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes will launch for PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, and PC via Steam and Epic Game Store in 2023, preceded by town-building action RPG Eiyuden Chronicle Rising in 2022. Publisher 505 Games and developer Rabbit and Bear Studios announced. Both titles will be available via Xbox Game Pass. You can click on the article if you want to have an overview of what the game entails. There are a couple of trailers involved. It was featured in Xbox's showcase this E3, so you can check the trailer there if you want. It has a lovely art style, like kind of Octopath Traveler-ish.
This game looks so good.
Yeah. And if you're like a fan of the Suikoden series, then you'll feel right at home with Eiyuden Chronicle.
So originally I was kind of like lukewarm on this game. I'm like, oh, Suikoden, yeah, that's good for the people who are like big fans of that. And then I see this trailer, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm in.
Wait, you didn't see the trailer like last year or 2 years ago?
Oh, it was the same trailer?
Bits and pieces, yeah.
I don't know. It was just one of those things. I think just at the time, I just wasn't really paying
attention to it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
And now I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm in. Maybe it's after seeing like Dragon Quest 3 remake, and it's just like, you know what?
and being underwhelmed by Final Fantasy Collection.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. Right now.
Yeah. Speaking of.
So at Square Enix, the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster series was announced for PC, iOS, and Android. Consists of Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is by Sawamura Fukamatsu. Square Enix has announced the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster series for PC, iOS, and Android. It will consist of those 6 games. They didn't really show us that much, image-wise. There was some debate going on whether the new pixels were worse or better.
It's too early to do that.
Yeah, because we've only seen them on a gray background. We haven't seen them on the actual background.
Yeah, it's not a direct feed image that we're comparing to what we previously got, so it's not really a fair comparison.
The Mega 64 reaction was pretty funny though, because it was like Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it was like Steam and mobile, and it was like Steam and mobile. Yeah,
it was a roller coaster of emotions. And
although I'm glad they're accessible somewhere.
The thing is, I think they're going with the largest markets that exist currently, and that's Steam and mobile. There's no ways about it.
That makes sense. And they can always port it to Switch later.
Probably, maybe.
Like also, people were very annoyed that this wasn't a collection. You have to get these all separately.
Well, they're gonna make money somehow.
They're gonna make a bundle at some point. It's Steam and mobile. They're gonna make a bundle on Steam at some point later.
I wouldn't count on it. From the third-party publishers, Square Enix is the most like Nintendo, and they do their own thing. And usually they go.
We'll see.
They go left when you go right. And I'm telling you.
We'll see. I feel a little weird because I just bought Final Fantasy 3 on Steam.
Yeah, I'm telling.
But that's the 3D version.
I'm telling you, don't get your hopes up.
They better not be too expensive. People are gonna be real mad.
They're probably gonna be costing like $15 to $20 each.
People are gonna be real mad about that.
Listen,
people want them 10.
There's work that goes into these things.
Plus Steam sales do happen all the time, though.
Yeah, just if you can't buy it now,
publisher sale.
Just wait, get it on sale, save up some money. If you can't,
or if you prefer retro gaming or the older versions, you can get a retro console and try your luck with getting more expensive versions of the game.
Yeah, good luck with that because the consoles aren't even available.
The retro consoles?
Yeah, because if
of the chip shortage,
if you want to buy them, you're gonna have to pay a premium for a second-hand thing.
Yeah, that's true.
So, not the way to go. Next up is Babylon's Fall.
But I'm excited for it. I think they look fine. A couple people who actually like know how pixels and stuff work had good Twitter threads on like why the character models probably look the way they do.
Yeah, Chris Kohler had a good thread on this.
Yeah. Chris Kohler, our buddy Taco, who's an actual pixel artist, so he would know. How they're probably made more for HD TVs, while like the older ones were made.
Not specifically. The thing is, when you were making sprites for older games, you had to account for the scan lines of a CRT TV.
Yeah.
So
I'm not. I was like paraphrasing, but yeah, it included that.
yeah. So when they redid the games for like Steam and mobile the first time with the smooth over graphics, in their mind, that's how it was always supposed to look like. Sprites are, well, sprite-based artwork was a product of limitations we had in the 70s to the 90s. And after that, it kind of became its own it became its own art style. So there's a different appreciation for how sprites should look or can look versus how the developers intended them to look back then. So there's that. Look up Chris Kohler's Twitter thread and be enlightened.
Also, look up his great curry recipe.
Do that too. Next up is Babylon's Fall adds PS5 version. Closed beta test signups now available. This is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. Babylon's Fall will launch for PS5 alongside its previously announced PS4 and PC Steam versions, publisher Square Enix and developer Platinum Games announced. Signups for a closed beta test are now available. The closed beta test will be divided into 3 phases, each with different testing goals on additional platforms. Phase 1, which will begin in late July, will be held for PC via Steam, and the still to be dated Phase 2 will add PS4, and Phase 3 will add PS5. You can click on the article if you want a full breakdown, overview, and a trailer. There's also a developer deep dive. So I highly advise you to watch that if you were bummed out by the re-announcement trailer. So watch that to have the developers' thoughts on it. What were your immediate thoughts upon viewing this new trailer?
What happened?
Looks
kind of. The character models look kind of plasticky. The gameplay is slower a little bit.
The rumor / speculation is that in the meantime, between the last trailer and this one, the game had kind of like a retooling. I watched the old trailer and the new one and compared them. The game speed is significantly slower. There's the multiplayer aspect, but a lot of the things we see in this new trailer were already present in the old trailer. It was just that we had no context for it. So now you have the context, and
Platinum is in a weird place right now.
I wouldn't agree with that. It's just that the reception isn't as warm as we'd like it to be, and as we
well, there's the fact that they have Babylon's Fall.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have the Platinum 4 or Platinum 5 or whatever.
Mm-hmm. But it's
and then they have there was no Bayonetta 3 news.
The thing,
we don't know anything else about Project GG.
The thing is, game development isn't all at once. All these projects are in various stages of development.
Yes.
And
also, it may not be something that Platinum's at fault for. Who knows what like Square Enix might have wanted to make it a live service game because we'll try it that way because that's popular. I don't know. Who knows? You never know. We never really know what everything that goes on behind the scenes. You know.
Well, if you watch the developer deep dive, you'd know that Square Enix and Platinum decided that, hey, this would be fun as a multiplayer game. Let's try that. It's one of those things. Also, I'm still gonna try it out because I'm curious. We could try that. I wanted to say that with regards to the art style, it was always going to be kind of like this oil painted look, like oil painting.
The character models just look a little odd.
It's the painted look, the in development footage just did it no favors. I'm guessing once polishing gets done, we'll have a better appreciation for it because it seemed like it was looking like an early PS4 build. Because the previous trailer was running at 60 FPS and this one not really. Not even close, probably. So, this is probably a newer build of a newer iteration. And, yeah, we'll see once they are ready to show new footage. And concerning Bayonetta 3, Kamiya actually tweeted out that he's kind of frustrated at how people are reacting with regards to no news on Bayonetta 3. He said this is out of his control previously. This is up to the publisher to announce when new
so Nintendo?
New info will be revealed. Yes, so Nintendo in this case.
I see.
They're working on it. His hands are tied. We'll know when we'll know more, but
it was actually pretty funny that he trolled right before the Nintendo Direct. He showed he had that image of the 3 of the same Bayonetta figure.
Like,
don't do that.
Well, he's allowed to do it. People just shouldn't overreact. But this is the internet, and people will overreact. So what else is new? Okay, moving on. Square Enix and Team Ninja announced Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin for PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. This is by Sal Romano. We extensively talked about this in the What We Have Been Playing section, so I'll just speed through this. Publisher Square Enix and developer Team Ninja have announced action RPG Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin for PS5 and the other consoles I already mentioned. A demo of Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin trial version is available now for PS5 through June 24th at...
No, they just updated that. I think it's through July 2nd now.
Okay. It doesn't say so here, but I'll take your word for it.
I don't think they updated the article, but I know they updated... Is it in the next one? Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
No, but I know I do know they did extend it.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. You can click on the article for a full breakdown, some developer commentary on their reasoning behind the game, a trailer, and a breakdown of the characters. Yeah. Also attached to this is Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin will feature more party members. This is by Kazuma Hashimoto for Siliconera. Because if you're unaware, in the trailer they just show that you have 2 party members aiding you in battle. The full
Ash and
Ash.
What's the other one?
Ash and
Ash and
Wait. I have it in front of me. Ash and Jed. Jeez, that's such a that's such a plain name.
They've had and Final Fantasy has had other characters named Ash, spelled with an E, right?
Yeah, Final Fantasy 12. They're just so basic.
Kind of like, why?
They're just so basic.
Do they all and they're all one syllable names.
Like, give me back weird names, please. Like, I draw the line
at Clive.
I draw the line at Clive. That's the most I'll be willing to accept. Okay. The full release of Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin will have more party members available to the player. The information was revealed during a recent interview with Famitsu. Director Daisuke Inoue shared this information along with other gameplay details regarding Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. This also includes how players will be able to customize their party members. Shout out to Famitsu. As mentioned previously, players will also have more party members available than the ones currently in the Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin demo. Jeez, we have to come up with an abbreviation or a portmanteau, because that's a lot of words. However, while other characters can join your party, you can only ever have a limit of 3 characters in your party. So players can switch these characters out when possible, I guess. So yeah, there you have it. Does this instill you with greater hope now that you have more characters in your party? Or to choose from?
Not greater hope. It's like, oh, that's good.
Okay.
I mean, are they playable?
They won't be playable, but they will aid you in battle.
Okay. So I'm sure one will be a healer, and then
the thing is, healing is tied to how many potions you have. So like your party members can heal you, and then I think that
that's true.
That takes away
that would
from
be
your
weird to have a healer. Yeah.
So it would like eat up all your potions.
Well, so how would they, if there was a white mage class, how would they reconfigure that? Just have like buffs and stuff instead?
That would probably be different. Like you have a limited pool of mana they could use, and that would heal you apart from the potions and stuff.
Yeah. So next, moving on to Capcom, which a lot of people were mad about.
Gamers mad. What's new?
Because they were like, oh, they didn't announce anything new. It's like, well, they announced the Resident Evil DLC, and more importantly, they announced Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin demo launches June 25th. First free title update launches July 15th. That's by Saruman Fukamatsu once again. Capcom will release a demo for Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin on June 25th, the company announced. Save data from the demo can be transferred to the full game. Additionally, the company announced that the first free title update for Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin, due out July 15th, will add the new Mossy Palamute from Monster Hunter Rise. And it comes out for the full game comes out for Switch and PC via Steam on July 9th. Capcom has done a bad job of showing gameplay in its trailers.
Not in the most recent trailer from the Capcom showcase itself. Like
they barely showed the battle screen. The only times they showed like a good amount of gameplay were the actual ones where they explained gameplay. So their Monster Hunter stream back in April and the their Nintendo Treehouse segment.
But the thing is, the battle system isn't that complicated. So I feel like
no, but I want people to realize that it's literally turn-based Monster Hunter. But people don't seem to realize that.
I don't think they're under the illusion that it's like a full Monster Hunter game as Monster Hunter Rise.
No, I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I just don't think people realize, like, it's not just some Monster Hunter spin-off. It takes elements from Monster Hunter. I'm working on an article for reasons you should play it. But, like, it takes those, like, elements from Monster Hunter, weaknesses, now the part targeting, armor and weapon making, and stuff like that. And it simplifies them, yes, but it still has those mechanics, and that's what's so great about it. I don't know. I'm trying. I got our friend Cameron interested when I tweeted out what the battle screen actually looked like, the UI. So, I mean, I did something.
Look, the reason people were kind of annoyed with Monster Hunter Stories is that during this whole E3, it was everywhere. Like Summer Games Fest, it was at the Nintendo showcase.
Okay, but here's the thing: they're doing the marketing a lot better in the first game.
It's probably an overcorrection at this point, where they're gonna bludgeon you to death with Monster Hunter Stories news, whether you like it or not.
Also, Imran Khan was like, fine, I guess I'm interested now.
I mean, if you show it enough, people will have a clearly defined opinion regarding.
But I just wish, again, I wish they showed a little more gameplay in their trailers rather than just such brief things where you very briefly see the HP and stuff. I feel I wanted to, so I would have liked if they had a trailer. If they just had a quick trailer, let's say Capcom didn't do their own presentation. They have a trailer. Their new trailer is at the Nintendo Direct, and they go like you can you'll battle monsters and blah blah blah, and then they show the battle screen quickly and the battle UI, and it's like, and you could even play with a friend, and it shows the co-op, and like you could have just quickly done that instead of doing it so briefly through the special monster
did that
attacks.
During the Capcom showcase.
Really? They didn't show the battle UI, did they?
Yeah, they did.
I don't remember that because I was dissatisfied with how little gameplay they showed.
The thing, there was also
not shown it for very long.
There was also the Treehouse presentation, right? Was it also?
Yeah, the Treehouse, but less people were gonna watch the
But the thing is, as we've seen with other showcases, these past 2 weeks, doing too much when people are expecting like at the most 3 minutes to 15 minutes can lead to people dropping off in interest.
That's true.
So
That's true.
I think the best option was to show brief snippets in the showcases and have the treehouse be a dedicated deep dive for the gameplay.
Yeah, I do wish that. That's kind of why I wish that the Capcom didn't have an event, and then they just could have focused that trailer on the Nintendo Direct. But anyways, it happened. We can't do anything about it now. Play the Monster Hunter Stories 2 demo. It comes out June 25th on Switch, and there's a demo actually. There's going to be a PC demo on July 9th.
There you go.
When the full game releases. So you have your choice. Next up in Monster Hunter news, Monster Hunter Rise version 3.1 update launches June 24th. New event quests and downloadable content. Once again by Saruman for Gamatsu. I think all of these are. The version 3.1 update for Monster Hunter Rise, which adds new event quests and downloadable content, will launch on June 24th, Capcom announced. The game's first Capcom collaboration, the Tsukino Palico layered armor from Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin, will launch a few days earlier on June 18th. Additionally, when Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin launches on July 9th, Monster Hunter Rise players can use save data from the game to get the Rider Hunter layered armor set. And then they have the thing we went over a few weeks ago, the roadmap. Yeah, alright.
Okay, next up is Resident Evil Village DLC in development. Resident Evil Reverse launches in July. This is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. Development of additional downloadable content for Resident Evil Village has just begun, Capcom announced. Further details were not announced. Additionally, Capcom announced that Resident Evil Reverse, or RE-verse as they named it, its standalone multiplayer game included free with all purchases of Resident Evil Village will launch for PS4, Xbox One, and PC via Steam in July. Them saying they just begun with development kind of makes me think they're gonna capitalize on the popularity of Lady D. So
yeah,
it's probably gonna be a DLC focused on Lady D and her daughters. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah, I'm not really the biggest Resident Evil fan.
Now that I have my PS5 or my Xbox Series S, I'll probably dive into it once it's on sale because I have so much other stuff to do.
I'm sure Kevin is excited for it.
Oh, probably, definitely.
As well as Kazuma Hashimoto, the biggest Resident Evil fan in the world.
Debatable.
Probably. That I know of.
Yeah.
All right, and next we have the Nintendo Direct, which I don't know. Most people say this one pretty much quote unquote won E3 this year.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because it didn't really have like those heavy hitters, besides the Breath of the Wild 2 update. But like it didn't have like a
crowd pleasers and fan favorites.
Yeah, it had crowd pleaser. Yes. But it didn't have like a big new 3D Mario. It didn't have Kirby, which I was surprised about.
Like, listen, even a PlayStation Direct isn't going to show up every time showing new God of War, new Horizon Zero Dawn, new Gran Turismo.
Yeah, no, I was just surprised with Kirby because the rumors, and it's been a while. It's been like a while since we gotten a new Kirby game. Then again, Sakurai has been working on Smash, so
I mean, there's only so much time you have to showcase the things you're cooking.
Yeah, that's true. And also, they could show it later. Yeah,
there will be more directs.
I forgot to put a story here. I'm just realizing.
Okay.
Because it started off Kazuya Mishima, is that his last name? From Tekken is going to be in Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, that is true.
That's really all I got for that. I don't have the news story up, so.
Like, I saw him walking towards the cliff, and I was like, can't be. It can't be. And then
I knew?
Yeah, I knew.
Know that fast?
Because I played Tekken.
Shoes?
No.
It was one of those.
the walking to the cliff to throw your somebody into a volcano, that's Tekken.
Okay. A release date was not announced. Director Masahiro Sakurai will host a Mr. Sakurai Presents Kazuya presentation detailing the fighter on June 28th at 7 a.m. Pacific Time, 10 a.m. Eastern. It was funny because he was like, "Oh, we still have to record it, actually."
Yeah.
I might get smashed if they release a version with all the DLC intact. Otherwise, I'm just not really into it.
Nintendo being Nintendo, it probably won't happen.
Why do you not want good things happening?
No, I want it to happen. It will probably not happen. There's a difference.
Don't put that evil into the world.
It's not evil, it's just business.
It's like when people say, "Oh, Elden Ring is going to definitely be delayed." It's like, stop. Don't say that.
I mean, it's probably going to be delayed.
Don't say that.
It's just the reality of the world.
Tales of Arise is going to be delayed.
I'll be fine with it. I won't die.
No, you won't. You won't be fine with it. Anyway, I hope Elden Ring is not delayed. More for the big Elden Ring fans. I'll be okay because Pokemon Legends Arceus is comes out a week later. But
yeah,
for the big fans, I'm like, I hope it's not delayed for their sake. Anyway, next up we have they also announced Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania announced for PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC, which is probably the only game from the Nintendo Direct that leaked that I know of.
I'd say yes.
And it leaked literally just right before, and people were like, okay.
I mean, because it's Monkey Ball. It's a known quantity.
It's great. It's a good Monkey Ball. A high-definition remaster of Super Monkey Ball 1, 2, and Deluxe. Once again, by Sawamata from Gamatsu. Sega has announced Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania for PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. It will launch on October 5th. The console versions will cost $39.99, and the PC version will cost $29.99. The following 2 special editions will also be available. 20th Anniversary Edition, which includes art book, reversible cover, collectible sleeve, and 10 cosmetic items. Digital Deluxe Edition includes 6 additional character skins, 3 legendary console skins, 10 customizable items, and the classic soundtrack. It's a high-definition remaster of the original 3 Super Monkey Ball games, Super Monkey Ball 2, and Super Monkey Ball Deluxe. It includes over 300 recreated levels and mazes, 12 minigames, and a colorful cast of characters. It's funny because the last AC remaster was Banana Blitz, and people were like, and the Monkey Ball fans were kind of like, why that one? People don't like that one. And this is the one people like a lot more.
I think they were testing the waters, and then this one just seemed like a good idea.
Yeah. I'm curious to see if they do a remaster of, what is it, Super Monkey Ball Adventure, which is the more of a platformer one. I think that's what it's called.
I mean, if the sales are good, I say it's likely.
And I'm sure they're gearing up for a new one eventually, too.
Yeah, as long as what's his name again? The Yakuza guy. What is his name again? The executive producer.
Oh.
Togashi?
Something like that.
Togashi. Wait, I'm looking it up because it's gonna haunt me if I don't get it right. Nagoshi. Yeah, it's Nagoshi. Yeah, so once we can pry him away from the Yakuza series and the Judgment series, he'll probably make a new Monkey Ball game. You still there?
What? Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I was thinking about Monkey Ball and how Monkey Ball was great.
It demanded your attention.
Yeah. So I'm glad. You know how I'm a big how I'm big on game preservation. And HD remasters are a good way to do that.
Yep.
Now Sega, if you would just remaster Skies of Arcadia, I think
they're working their way up
get
to
somewhere. I don't know. I don't know if they're even working on it at all. We'll see. Here's hoping. Next up, Mario Party Superstars was also announced for Switch. 100 classic minigames from Nintendo 64 and GameCube games return. Nintendo has announced Mario Party Superstars. Oh, once again by Saruman Furugamatsu. Nintendo has announced Mario Party Superstars for Switch. It will launch on October 29th. There's an overview of the game. A Superstar collection of classic Nintendo 64 boards. 100 classic minigames return from the Nintendo 64 and Nintendo GameCube games and more. Party with Superstars near or far. So this was why the online in the last Mario Party
got added.
Yeah. This was kind of confusing because some people thought this was a port of the 3DS one, the top 100 games.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is like it's along the lines of that, but it's a different. I think it doesn't have all the same selection of games.
It's a new incarnation of the same idea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There also like an accessibility thing that I saw on Twitter where they changed one of the games where the colors change on certain things you have to step on to the colors and patterns change now. So that's good.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next up is Metroid Dread announced for Switch, and Maddie Myers from Polygon rejoiced. This is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. Publisher Nintendo and developer Mercury Steam have announced Metroid Dread for Switch. It will launch on October 8th. You can click on the article for an overview and a trailer. Did you have any thoughts on seeing Metroid come back in 2D form?
I'm not a big Metroid fan. Shocking, I know.
It's not shocking.
I'm just not big on Metroidvanias in general. The only Metroid I've really played is Metroid Prime Hunters on the Nintendo DS. I do plan on playing Metroid Prime at some point, whenever there's a trilogy and 4 and but like 2D Metroidvanias, not my thing. But the people who were like, I know there are a lot of big Metroid fans, especially of the 2D series, and people were so excited for this, especially because of the name. Because this is not the first time they had a Metroid Dread in development.
It kind of is.
It was a different game.
Not.
Wasn't it? Wasn't it like a different game?
The thing is that the executive producer for the series has kind of a deep dive video on YouTube on the Nintendo channel explaining the legacy of Metroid Dread. It was like almost 20 years ago that they started development on this game, Dread proper, and they couldn't fully realize it back then, so they shelved it, and then they attempted it a second time and still couldn't really figure it out, and then put it back on ice, and then they finally were able to realize it with the Switch version.
Is this?
Yeah.
Is this Mercury Steam who did Samus Returns? Okay, so I think that definitely helped. Like, hey, we can do that now. Although Samus Returns was on 3DS.
Yes, Mercury Steam has a good legacy when it comes to tight gameplay and good 3D environments, and them doing Samus Returns to some success, I'd say, instilled Nintendo with enough confidence to hand them over the reins for Metroid Dread. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Next up, WarioWare Get It Together announced for Switch. Microgame Mayhem comes to Switch on September 10th. This is once again by Saruman Furugamatsu. Nintendo has announced WarioWare Get It Together for Switch. It will launch on September 10th. Microgame Mayhem comes to the Nintendo Switch system. Take on over 200 quick and quirky microgames, lightning-fast minigames filled with frantic fun, solo or with a friend. And there's the usual Wario story. You just playing minigames. You get to play as different characters that seem to have different mechanics. Help out infamous game designer Wario after he gets sucked into his latest creation in story mode. Go it alone or with a friend in 2-player cooperative play, a first for the series. You can either play on the same system or via local wireless. Wasn't there online for this too? Or no? I thought this had online.
I could be mistaken, but it's
It
possible.
doesn't say anything about online on here. For the first time, you control Wario and friends inside their own chaotic game. Right,
Yeah,
because
that's
you're not
true.
usually controlling them. You're usually controlling something else, and they're like off to the side. Using their distinctly absurd abilities to take on a rush of microgames. Tip a turtle with the help of Wario's dash, or choose Ashley and hurl a spell at it. In WarioWare Get It Together, mix and match characters and microgames for maximum fun. I saw there's one game that is, curiously enough, based
they're
on
all
Super Mario
kind
Land.
of inspired by.
Which was
they're kind of all
Wario's first
inspired.
appearance.
Oh, okay.
Well, that was the one I noticed specifically. This would probably be the first WarioWare game I get. Because I want to support Wario. Wario wants my money. Because he's greedy. Because I'm not saying Nintendo, I'm just saying that's his character. But, I mean, I hope at some point maybe we'll get a new Wario Land game, too.
Maybe.
Somebody brought up on Twitter, like, why wasn't 1-2 Switch a WarioWare? Oh. I saw something on Twitter, and it said, why wasn't 1-2 Switch, like, a WarioWare game? Or branded as a WarioWare game?
I think they were aiming for more accessibility and didn't want it to necessarily adhere to an established franchise. Kind of have a wider appeal as a party game. Because people might be turned off by how odd WarioWare can be.
Okay. So, next story. Shin Megami Tensei 5 launches November 11th in Japan, November 12th worldwide. This is once again by Saruman for Gamatsu. Shin Megami Tensei 5 will launch for Switch on November 11th in Japan and November 12th worldwide, Atlus announced. In Japan, Shin Megami Tensei will be priced at 8,980 yen, 9,878 yen with tax for the standard edition, and 14,800 yen or 16,280 yen with tax for the Forbidden Nahobino box edition, which includes a copy of the game, a selection, 2 CDs, 35 tracks, a selection of songs from Shin Megami Tensei 1 to 4, arranged by a string quartet with a prestigious and spiritual atmosphere. And with the Shin Megami Tensei 5 Early Access mini soundtrack, this set is a music album packed with the total wisdom of the series. Demon Compendium, A5 DVD tall case size, 116 pages, a hardcover book featuring retouched images of the over 200 demons players will encounter in Shin Megami Tensei 5, including new demons as well as demon descriptions. Nahobino t-shirt, a t-shirt made in the image of protagonist Nahobino, mixing Nahobino's white and Ayagami's blue. A special case based on the Tree of Knowledge that appears in the story, and featuring the eyes of the characters. Why can't we get this? Why?
Because it's kind of very out there. I don't know. I don't really have a good answer for you.
I want that Demon Compendium.
I mean, maybe they're going to commission Dark Horse to translate it and you'll still get it in some form or fashion.
We can only hope.
Yeah.
And then there was like, they're doing a special live stream on June 16th at 20 o'clock Japanese time, and it'll be on YouTube later.
Yeah.
They Treehouse Live also had a gameplay segment.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It.
This is probably my most anticipated game this year after Stories 2.
That's amazing. Did not expect.
I gotta stay on brand with the Monster Tamers.
Well, there's that. Which is surprising. Did you love Persona 5 then?
So, I think Persona 3 has been my favorite. I liked Persona 5. I need to play more. I like the Shin Megami Tensei 3 battle system. It's just the map is awful.
But I mean, Persona 5 also has a bigger collection aspect compared to previous Persona games.
Yes. Yeah, but I don't think of Persona that way as much.
Huh, interesting.
It's weird. It's really weird. Because it's like, because you're still playing as the character, and you're summoning the thing. Because in Shin Megami Tensei, like, you have the character and you have the demon.
So that's a big...
like so Monster Hunter Stories kind of thing. You have the character and the creature.
That's a big distinction for you. Got it.
Yeah, because like something like think about something like Astral Chain, right? There are like what, like 7-8 different creatures, but they're an extension of you, but it's not really a collecting aspect. That's just how many there are.
Okay.
In the game.
I think I get what you're trying to say.
You get what I'm trying to say? Is like it's more like they're part of the character. Although then you get into the weird thing with Ni no Kuni with the first one, and they do share health, but they also fight at the same time. So you just kind of choose which one you control. So it's a weird thing. I'd say Shin Megami Tensei is more of a Mon game. Persona 5 or like Persona would be like more Mon game adjacent.
Okay, gotcha.
It gets weird. Yeah, that's why it kind of gets money. Because, like, there are plenty of people who are into Persona 5 who probably aren't into Pokemon-like games.
Maybe.
At least from my experience.
I can't really speak to that.
I don't think Barrett Courtney, one of the biggest Persona 5 fans ever, is really very into Pokemon. At least he doesn't seem to be.
Fine on the series. Next...
Might just have the nostalgia.
Next up, we have Danganronpa Decadence announced for Switch. This is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu.
I was right. Right.
Spike Chunsoft has
You owe me a pizza now. No, I'm just kidding. We never made a bet on that.
Spike Chunsoft has announced Danganronpa Decadence for Switch, which includes Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc Anniversary Edition, Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair Anniversary Edition, and Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony Anniversary Edition, and a new board game style titled Danganronpa S Ultimate Summer Camp. It will launch in 2021. Each title will also be available individually via the Nintendo eShop. You can click on the article for an overview. Goodbye Despair Girls isn't available in this collection. It's just the 3 mainline games.
Well, 3 mainline games and the board game RPG.
I think the board game is just a nice bonus, so I'm not really counting it as.
You can purchase it separately.
Yeah, but I'm not counting it as a mainline game. That's why.
It's not a mainline game. You're right.
So I played Danganronpa 2. I watched the anime for Danganronpa 1, and I'll probably buy Danganronpa V3. But people weren't really 3. All that jazzed about yet. 3, so maybe.
I want to play the board game spin-off, so I'll probably pick that one up.
All right. Next up, another blast from the past. Fatal Frame Maiden of Blackwater coming to PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC in 2021. This is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. Koei Tecmo will release Fatal Frame Maiden of Blackwater Project Zero Maiden of Blackwater in Europe for PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC via Steam in 2021, the publisher announced. It will support Japanese, English, Chinese, Traditional Simplified, French, and German language options. Fatal Frame, Maiden of Blackwater first launched for Wii U in September of 2014. You can click on the article for the full overview and the trailer of the game. I'm pretty excited.
Was this the Wii U? This is a port of a
Yes.
Wii U game, isn't it? All right. And the Wii U game, I believe, was censored or something. There were like costumes that were censored here.
Listen, for a horror game, there are some spicy costumes for some reason.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
I mean, you have your
So people are wondering if it will still be censored.
most likely not
Who knows?
because Nintendo is kind of lenient these days when it comes to that. You won't have full on mature stuff in your video game because they still have like rating content system, but they won't censor a thing that's prim and proper for release. So there's that. Next up is Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp, which is a really great name, announced for Switch. This is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. Publisher Nintendo and developer Intelligent Systems have announced Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp for Switch. It will launch on December 3rd. You can click on the article for the trailer and an overview. There's also a Treehouse gameplay demo where they walk you through the game. It's being developed by Way Forward Technologies. Or are they called Way Forward Technologies? Way Forward Games. Way Forward. Yeah, they're called Way Forward Technologies. They are the developers for the game. I guess Intelligent Systems is working on the rumored Fire Emblem game. So there's that. I'm super happy. Advance Wars is a really great title. Very clever battle mechanics.
I've never played one.
I think you'll have some fun. If you want something close to Advance Wars, you can play Wargroove on Switch, PC, PS4.
Yes, Wargroove is very good.
Yeah, so if you like Wargroove, you're probably also going to like Advance Wars.
I believe our buddy Sean Chiplock might have been a voice in that. I have to check though. There was some voice actor that it might have not been him. It might have been another voice actor I follow on.
I feel like
Twitter
Sean Chiplock is very recent, and Advance Wars is very old.
No, Wargroove.
Oh, Wargroove, yeah. Let me look it up.
I don't think it might have not been him. It might have been.
I'm looking it up. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, no, he was.
Yeah.
So it was him tweeting about that. Yeah, and I was like, oh man, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wargroove is a great game, so try that out.
Yep.
Next up, during the Japanese Direct, Super Robot Wars 30 was announced for PS4, Switch, and PC. Once again by Saruman for Gamatsu. Bandai Namco announced Super Robot Wars 30 for PS4, Switch, and PC via Steam in celebration of the series' 30th anniversary. It will launch in 2021 in Japan, as well as in Asia with English subtitles. The latest home console title of Super Robot celebrating its 30th anniversary is ready for launch. So if you really like mechs and like mech anime and stuff, you can play this game in English.
Yeah. And Cat Bailey squealed for joy.
More information will be announced at Super Robot Wars Hagane no Cho Kansashai 2021 on July 11th. And in the last bit of Nintendo Direct news, for Zelda, first they announced a Game & Watch Legend of Zelda system due out November 12th. Once again by Saruman for Gamatsu. They announced the system. It will launch on November 12th for $49.99. It will include the original Legend of Zelda game, Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link, and the original version of Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. So the green color Game Boy, not the DX version. And then it will also include the Game & Watch Classic Vermin, but it's starring Link.
Mm-hmm.
And it also has a digital clock, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Looks nice. I'm not really interested in that, but that's cool.
It's a fun
It's like
collector's.
the Mario one they released.
It's a fun
last
collector's item if you're into that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And in our final bit of news, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel launches in 2022. This is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. The sequel to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild will launch in 2022, Nintendo announced. You can watch footage below, which previews a vast new world high above the Kingdom of Hyrule. And you can view a set of new screenshots in the gallery. So click on that if you will. What were your thoughts on this reveal?
Okay. Like, everybody was like, oh my god, that's so cool. I was just kind of like, eh. But again, I wasn't the biggest fan of Breath of the Wild. So, like...
That is true.
Of course, I was like, oh, like, I'll play it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to see how new mechanics work. Like, the whole puddle thing. I'm curious to see if there's, like, time-based mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
Because they also did not... They said the title was a spoiler, and that's why they didn't say it yet. So,
what was your big criticism of the first Breath of the Wild? Was it just too obtuse? Was it the weapon durability?
I feel like it was the one that was the weapon durability. See, I don't mind. I don't need them to take it completely out. I just want them to tweak it a little bit. So, like, things don't break so fast, except for, like, sticks. Sticks can still break fast because they're sticks. Come on. But, like, I just want them to kind of tweak it to be a little more in line with, like, the weapon durability of other games. I don't want to have, like, a sword and then have it break from, like, hitting just a few enemies or something.
You kind of, like, want to carry something through a decent piece of the adventure.
Yeah, let me have, like, at least a repair system. Maybe a blacksmith I can go to, or, like, something where, like, maybe you make a little camp, like, when you're cooking and stuff, but you're repairing the weapon.
Yeah.
And then maybe you do a thing where the weapon degradation, like, you're still repairing it, but there's, like, some kind of drawback to that, so that you're not completely using the same weapon over and over again. Like, you could still have that experimentation. It's just a little more forgiving.
Yeah.
That's what I would want.
I am stoked for this. The weapon durability never bothered me. I like the visuals. I like the music. I like the gameplay. I can't wait to see what they have in store for us.
It was the backwards. It was a track from Breath of the Wild backwards.
The title theme, the main title theme. That's what.
It wasn't the. It was yeah. It was
that's what they said.
Yeah.
We haven't had a big confirmation on it, but I'd say it's likely. Yeah.
Also, kind of funny, has a good theory video on, like, speculation.
Yeah. That we might be playing as Ganondorf. In a flashback.
Ganondorf might be the hero from 10,000 years ago, and who knows? The dehydrated skeleton and Ganondorf and the one-armed person we thought was Link might all be the same person.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. It's interesting. It's interesting to see the speculation. So, before we go, we have one listener question from NSA Jose. Of the E3 titles that were shown, which one do you each think you'll sink the most time into? Well, for me, one of them is very obvious. Monster Hunter Stories 2: Wings of Ruin.
I never would have guessed it.
Otherwise, I think Shin Megami Tensei 5 would be the other one. Maybe. It depends on how much time I spend fusing. Why? Did you think it would be something else?
No, I'm just surprised that it's Shin Megami Tensei, as I mentioned.
That's just the only one I
can
can think of off the top of my head.
So, were you looking only for Mon games, or
no? I mean that day, yes, because I was wearing my Kotora on a skateboard shirt, And I was like, all right, monster taming luck, let's go.
Um,
But we didn't get any new Pokemon news. We didn't get any Digimon Survive news.
But was there anything else outside of the Mon game genre that sparked your interest?
That I think I'll spend a lot of time with?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters, but that's just because they're JRPGs. In terms of Japanese games, I'm trying to think. Like,
well, it doesn't have to be a Japanese game now, does it?
Oh, well, Outer Worlds 2.
Okay.
We'll see how that turns. Outer Worlds 2 and Starfield. We'll see how those turn out.
Okay.
I think I could end up potentially spending a lot of time in both of those. I still need to play the DLC for Outer Worlds 1.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those things where the DLC is kind of, you can only access it during like the middle of the game, I think. So I would have to restart in the first place. But yeah, Monster Hunter Stories 2, Shin Megami Tensei 5. Who knows? I could end up spending a lot of time in Advance Wars.
I could see that. I mean, you also liked Into the Breach, right? So
Yes, I loved Into the Breach. That was my game of the year for 2018.
It could be scratching a similar itch for you. So
yeah,
I think so.
All right, so that's all. I know we went a little long, but that's because it was what?
I still have to.
Oh, you still have more?
No, I still have to mention what games I'm looking forward to.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, it's fine.
I didn't mean to cut you off like that.
No, it's fine.
I'm just like looking at the timer, and I'm like, oh, well.
Real quick,
no, go ahead.
The things I'm looking forward to.
No, don't. You don't have to go too fast.
Yeah.
Take your time.
Are Elden Ring, Tales of Arise, Forza Horizon 5.
No, but which ones do you think you'll spend the most time with?
Yeah, those three.
Those ones?
Yeah.
I think, this might be the first Forza I play.
Forza because it's near enough my continent that I'm stoked enough for it. Maybe there'll be DLC where I can get to see my own house one day. South America represent. Tales of Arise because I'm a big Tales of fan, and this seems like the game we've desperately been wanting all this time. Elden Ring because Elden Ring. Need I say more? I like how it's a big mix of Nordic and medieval fantasy, and Miyazaki has said that this title will be a bit more approachable in comparison to other titles. You'll have a bit more options to make the game suitable for your liking and skill level, something along those lines. That's about it. That's about it for me. That's all I can think about.
Yeah.
Like Breath of the Wild is so far off that I'm not really considering it as something I'll be sticking a lot of time into, but probably next year we'll see.
All in all, it was still a good E3.
I'm pretty happy.
Yeah. I'm happy that Monster Hunter Stories 2 is so soon. And that Shin Megami Tensei 5 I'm actually a lot more interested in now.
I almost forgot Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm definitely going to be spending a lot of time in Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'm still not sure how I feel about that yet. I'll have to... We'll find out later.
Well, as I said, one of the original writers from the like the most popular comic run is involved, so that fills me with hope. Yeah.
So yeah, that's it for this week. Again, I apologize, Jason, for almost accidentally cutting you off, and also apologies to the listeners for our technical difficulties earlier.
Yeah.
Stay safe. Get vaccinated
if you're able to.
If you can.
Yeah. Have fun out there.
Respect people who are still wearing masks. They may have. You never know if they have like a condition or something.
Yeah. Be mindful. Be safe. Have fun. Stay healthy. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Matane.